Hey guys, this is Xavier with Gotta Be Mobile, and today I want to go ahead and show you a comparison between the HTC One M8's camera and app and the camera and app from the iPhone 5S. I'm going to talk to you about why I have a love-hate relationship with the HTC One M8 and why the iPhone 5S is still my go-to camera for as far as phones go when I'm out and about with my family and I just want to take a high quality picture. So first things first, let me tell you a little bit about the HTC One M8's camera setup. Is you have what they call HTC One Ultra Pixel camera. It's really a 4 megapixel camera, and they're not going for the megapixel race. They're not trying to do 8 megapixels like the iPhone 5S or the 16 megapixel camera that the Samsung Galaxy S5 has. Their concept is that you don't need such high resolution on a cell phone because most people just upload the pictures to Facebook, send them as multimedia messages, etc. What they've done is the pixels are actually bigger. So just think of it as if you're trying to catch rain in buckets rather than using drinking glasses. Their pixels are bigger, so it performs a little bit better in low light than what you'd expect out of a cell phone camera. On top of it is a second camera. This is called the Duo camera, and this has some nice tricks to it. You can do some 3D effects, and that actually gives the phone some depth information when you shoot pictures, so you can actually refocus your pictures or do blurry backgrounds like you can with a DSLR or a professional camera. Now, let me run through this camera app. In the most basic mode, you can take pictures with your thumb, or any finger for that matter, and pretty basic. The pictures here are pretty good quality for a cell phone camera as long as you're in decent light, you're not in extreme conditions. They look really good on this phone, but when you blow these pictures up on your laptop or a bigger monitor, or if you try to print them, they get really muddy. You lose a lot of detail, and it's just really disappointing when you think you've captured a great picture using the normal camera app, but then you go to share it and somebody opens it on a big computer, it's not going to look as good as it does on the screen. And so just be aware of that. If you're shooting for straight quality pictures that you might want to frame or print or share on a larger display, this phone might not be for you. Now, let me tell you something. This is a camera phone I shoot with when I'm going to kids' birthday parties, when I'm recording my kid running around at preschool or at the park. This is my favorite camera phone, and it's not because of the quality of the pictures. It's actually because of this app. You can just do so much with this camera app, and it comes stock. And I'm going to show you a couple of those things here. So the standard camera app, as you can see, you can go in here into settings. And just like you can see on most advanced point and shoot cameras, you get a whole bunch of settings here. So we can go ahead and change the ISO. That's the light sensitivity of the sensor. We can go ahead and change the exposure compensation. So we can manually say we want to lock in something that's overexposed or underexposed and make adjustments here. With the iPhone 5S here, we just don't get that kind of control. You can do exposure lock or you can do focus locks, but you don't get that manual control. You see there's no settings anywhere here. It's just pretty basic here. And you just get all sorts of options. On the HTC One, there's preset mode, so you can have twilight mode, HDR, panoramic. I mean, you just go through this and there's just all sorts of mode. There's a macro mode we could switch to, which brightens things up and focuses closer. And here's another mode if you're going to take pictures of text. If you're using your camera as kind of a scanner, there's all sorts of things you can do. Both the iPhone and the HTC One do have filters. So let's go back in here. I'm going to change it to a filter. Oh, having a little trouble here. There we go. So filters aren't available apparently if you're using this for text capture, but if we switch back to auto, you can see there's a whole range of adjustments and filters. One nice thing about this HTC One camera is that you can actually go ahead and create your own filters, and that's really useful if you want to make adjustments in post-processing. Now you can't use your self-made filters when you're shooting, but you can play with the contrast, play with the colors, and you can go in and just auto-apply these filters. You can't do that in the iPhone 5S. Let's go into settings, and you can see that you can just get all sorts of options. One thing I love about the HTC One is that it does have a micro SD card. You can put up to 128 gigabyte SD card into the phone, giving you a total of 160 gigabytes of storage. Now that's a lot of storage for photos and videos. The iPhone 5S, you have to pre-plan it, you have to max it out at 64 gigabytes. It's almost 100 gigabytes less than what I can shoot with on the HTC One. You can do continuous shooting, all sorts of options. I can take pictures by just pressing the volume button up top. That's just the main camera app. Now, what's exciting about the camera app is actually it goes far beyond just a stock camera app. Let me go ahead and show you. You actually get 6 different camera modes. And there's a selfie, which you can now see my face and my camera. With the selfie mode, you can actually get a little countdown timer. So you get time to smile. That's a nice little feature. It's not really significant, but it makes selfies a little bit more bearable to take because we're not capturing while you're looking at the capture button, the shutter button. You actually can adjust your gaze and look over here and to the camera and smile. Let me show you the other modes. Of course, we've got video. Dual mode is something that's pretty cool. I took some pictures of myself with my kid and my cousin at a firehouse, and you get to see my kid in the main camera, and you can see me and my cousin in the little frame here, and you can swap this back and forth. Let's go ahead and switch this back to camera. And then if we do dual capture, it should reverse, and there we go. So you can do it either way. You can make yourself big and the main camera small, or vice versa. You can do a Pano 360. Now there are apps on iPhone that can do this, but basically what it means is you could capture a sphere of photos from 360 degrees up and down every which way, and that's a really nice way to capture a scene. It does take some time. It is a little bit gimmicky. You're probably not going to take a lot of them, but it is a pretty cool little feature to have built in to this camera app. Now let me show you Zoe Camera. Zoe Camera is a really nice feature. It's a little bit different than the last HTC phone, and the new HTC One Android software called Sixth Sense. It starts recording as soon as I press it. And what it's doing as I'm recording here is it's actually taking video and still frames at the same time. And it locks after a few seconds and will record video as long as I have this going. But in the meantime, it's capturing full resolution photos. Let's go ahead and stop this. And if we go into this, we can either play a video, press it, and what it's doing as I'm recording here is it's actually taking video and still frames at the same time. So you can, and you'll see this little photo frame symbol here. If you press that, it's actually captured 20 photos as I move the phone around. And this feature here is the killer feature for a couple of reasons. It makes it so you can capture really nice photos of kids that are running around or animals that are running around. And it's similar to the iPhone 5S in terms of rapid fire, but you get that video that goes along with it, and you really don't have to pick and choose between pictures and video. Now, you'll see that what's happening in the background is I accidentally pressed a couple things. That was the Zoe highlights. Let me get back to the iPhone app. If we go into the iPhone app and launch a video and start recording a video, it has something similar, but it's not automatic. So if I hit record, you'll get this little button here, and that's to capture stills, and you have to do it manually. And this is a problem for a couple of reasons. One, it's not automatic. You actually have to press it. Two is every time I do this, the camera shifts and you get shaky video, and it's hard enough to get good quality still photos, or I'm sorry, good quality video out of an iPhone, but if you're actually shaking it by pressing the screen, it looks really bad. So this camera app wins hands down. Now, You might ask why you would want to capture video and photos all the time, even when you're not planning on doing anything special with it. And the answer is because of something called Zoe highlights. So highlights are created automatically every time you take a bunch of pictures. So let me go ahead and I'm going to rotate this a little bit because it's only in portrait mode that you can really see this. And what this does is you can go into timeline, and without even thinking about it, what happens is this application actually creates highlight reels set to music, merging all your photos and videos and Zoe highlights, and sort of does a quick mashup all together. So here's an event of San Francisco on April 8th. My father and I went to HTC Park for opening day for the Giants versus Arizona Diamondbacks game, and I didn't do anything here. You can see that we've got a highlight, Zoe highlight, that if we load into, there we go. No, that's not going to be the best example. I didn't take that many pictures or videos, but the point is you get something that's presentable that you can share on Facebook that you don't have to manually make. You can choose between several different themes, you can add your own music, and it's a really neat app, and this is a killer app. Every time I go to a kid's birthday party or an event with a bunch of kids and I share one of these highlight videos with their parents, they immediately ask me which iPhone app I use to make it, and I tell them you can't get it on the iPhone, you have to use this device. So those are the basic differences between these two phones' camera apps. I really prefer the HTC One's camera app because it's all built in, it's all native. You don't have to go and download a whole bunch of apps like you do with the iPhone to get what you're looking for. But however, the iPhone 5S camera is just so much better in terms of basic picture taking. It's really a toss-up though. This is why I carry both. There's no perfect camera, there's no perfect phone, but I can highly recommend the HTC One M8 if you're gonna do a lot of mobile shooting, if you want to edit videos and pictures on the go. My recommendation is if you're just being held back by the sheer picture quality and you're not sure if you're gonna want to frame your photos of your kids or your pets or family events, my recommendation is to do something like this. Buy this and then buy yourself a good quality point and shoot camera to cover both. While the iPhone 5S's camera is much better than HTC One's in general for these high quality prints and for the larger megapixels so you can get more sharpness, this doesn't even come close to comparing to a decent point and shoot camera like the Sony here. So like I said, no perfect gadgets out there, but if I could merge these two together, I'd be very happy. This is Xavier with Gotta Be Mobile, and this is the HTC One M8 versus the iPhone 5S camera.